What's going on, Mutha Truckers? Welcome to Mutha Trucker News. This is so big news. They just announced right now, Supreme Court just announced that they are pulling back and overturning the Chevron doctrine. So it was a case 40 years ago, Chevron versus the EPA, is where, of course, when Congress makes a law, that if that law was vague, the agencies like the EPA were able to interpret it. And somewhere along the way, agencies like the EPA start making up their own laws. So now that's overturned. Agencies, as of today, it's going to be very difficult for agencies to try to make any laws. Because on March 29th of 2024, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, finalized new greenhouse gas GHG standards for heavy-duty vehicles, including semi-trucks, that will take effect beginning in model year 2027. So the new standards are intended to reduce GHG emissions from heavy-duty vehicles by up to 60% by 2032 for some vehicle classes. The EPA also expects the new rule to reduce air pollution for 72 million people who live near heavy-duty trucking routes, right? So basically, by 2032, they want over 60% of heavy-duty trucks to pretty much be zero emission. That means electric. And they can't do that. Why? Because today the Supreme Court just overturned the Chevron doctrine versus the EPA. There's a lot of articles about this. This recently got overturned today, right? Here's one from NPR.org, right? Supreme Court just made it harder for federal agencies to regulate in this sweeping ruling. The U.S. Supreme Court today just undid decades of regulatory law, making it far more difficult for federal agencies to issue rules and regulations that carry out broad mandates enacted by Congress, right? So, and the decision overturned Chevron versus the Natural Resource Defense Council, a 1984 decision that was not particularly controversial when it was announced 40 years ago. Indeed, the vote was unanimous in declaring that when a statute is ambiguous, courts should defer to reasonable agency interpretation of what it means. So basically, when a law is vague, agencies can jump in and interpret that. And what happened for the last 40 years? Agencies like the EPA were making up their own damn laws, and they can't do that. We are not allowing these federal agencies like the EPA to interpret laws anymore and create their own laws. So I talked to a lawyer about this. At the end of the day, the big thing here is now it's going to be very hard for the EPA to make up these laws.